Israel, Shalom, Shalom. We're now Watchmen for Israel coming back at you with these and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent. And they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Akwaf out there, the sincere sisters that are zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malaki Bashai. Shalom Williams, Brother Ezekiel, Shalom King, Rapid Fire, to Puak, Beloved Lioness, Brother Yamir, Shalom. And again, everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. This will be a quick cold cut, impromptu in the spirit. I wanted to do this cold cut actually. I was meditating on this topic last week, but the spirit suffered it not to really be brought out. But I want to go into it. You know, the topic of this cold cut is have a healthy mind, right? Have a healthy mind. You know, being in this knowledge, being in this truth, especially as men of Yahweh Bashai, there's a lot of different devices that are in your mind, right? Brothers work long hours. Some brothers work 8 hours, 10 hours. Some brothers work 11, 12 hours, man. You pushing 50, 60 hours a week, man. You know, you're pushing all these hours. Some brothers, they have families. You have children. You got babies. You know, some brothers have hard, laborious jobs, man. It take a toll on your body, you know, and that's coupled with the stress of this world. You may have bills and finances and issues that you got to deal with. You're paying your mortgage off, your rent. You know, you're thinking about your car that has to get fixed, and maybe your health is deteriorating, or there's a lot of things that brothers have to think about, man. There's a lot of things that brothers have to think about. And on top of that, man, brothers got to go to camp. You know, here in WFI, we hold camp at minimum twice a week, you know. So brothers are at camp, you know, 10 hours plus every week, man. You know, coming right off of work. So brothers have a lot that they think about, and there's a lot in your mind. And it's very important that the men of Yahweh Shai have a healthy mind. Do you take care of your mind, man? You don't overthink. You don't stress yourself out, man. You can compartmentalize, right? You can think about various different things and execute. You want to have a healthy mind in this knowledge, right? I want to go to Proverbs chapter 4 and 23, right? Proverbs chapter 4 and 23. And it's perfectly fine, and I'm going to touch on it too. And it's perfectly fine for brothers to kind of get away, man. You know, go outside, you know, sit in the car. Even they make they throw that term out there, decompress. You know, gather your thoughts together, man. You know, see this world, they want, let me get this precept first, right? Then I'll say what I want to say. It's Proverbs chapter 4, right? And verse number 23, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashai. This isn't going to be too long, right? Proverbs chapter 4 and 23, right? It reads, so I can bear with me. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Right, we bring that precept out all the time. Keep means to watch, to safeguard, to protect. You're commanded by Yahweh Bashai to watch over your mind. Things that come inside of you. Hey, your mind is an open vessel, man. You know, there are things that you hear that get stuck in your head, right? There are things that you smell that can throw off your spirit. There are things that you see that can throw your spirit off, and it all goes through your mind, man. Right? That central complex that the Most High given man. You know, so you have to protect your mind, man. And this society dealing with Esau, and I brought this out at camp not too long ago, he's always having Jake or having us overworking, over busy, to and fro. You're always running errands. You're always, you know, doing something. And you never have time to really sit back and think, man. To examine yourself, right? To meditate, to see what things are lacking, even for your health, man. In society, this is a hustle and bustle, busy, wicked kingdom. You're always to and fro, even on your days off, man. You got to run errands. You might have to go to the bank. I know brothers that have to take off. that may work like mid shifts or night shifts, they have to take off just so they could get stuff done that they wouldn't be able to do during the day because they're always at work, huh? And this is a corrupt kingdom that always wants to distract you and keep your mind away from meditation and keep your mind away from self-reflection and keep your mind away from ultimately Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So the Lord said, I'm going to read it again. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Man, the things that we obtain, this knowledge, this understanding, this can save, it will save brothers' lives, man. The precepts, the understanding, the breakdowns, the prophecies, the knowledge of the Most High God, the laws and the commandments. What we know is what the world will never know, man. We've been given a particular gift from the Most High God, and it starts with our mind. The Lord said, out of your mind are the issues of life. You can send out words and counsel and understanding up from falling, man. To save a marriage, to save a brother from committing suicide, man. To save a brother from making the worst financial decision possible, to pick him up from sin. So if your mind is tainted and you don't have time to study, you don't have time to meditate on the precepts, you're not profitable. Your mind becomes unprofitable. And what good is having all of the knowledge, man, if you can't utilize it the way the Most High wants you to utilize it? You become completely unprofitable if you're too caught up in this world. You know? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 6 and 22. Right? You have to take this time. Even Yahushua took time to get away. Now, he got away from the multitude. And there are times Yahushua got away from the 12. He would go into a mountain by himself and he would be there by himself, man. Gather his thoughts, getting his mind right, praying all night. You need that, man. You got to keep yourself sane in this thing. If not, you know, you'll bug out. And you'll lose focus on the mission. Right? So even Yahushua did that. Isaac went out in the field and he meditated at eventide, man. It's perfectly fine to get away, meditate, decompress, get your mind right, focus, you know, see what things you need to do, man, and execute. This is the book of Matthew. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6 and 22. Right? Have a healthy mind, man. Right? You want to take care of your body on a spiritual level through prayer, through reading, through studying, through self-examination. You want to take care of your body on the physical level, man. You know, with the herbs and, you know, taking care of your health, but you also want to take care of your mind, right? Take care of your mental, man. People bug out. People go crazy. People, they call it crashing out. People crash out, you know. They got all these built up demons in them. This is the book of Matthew chapters. They lash out, right? They don't know how to handle stress. They let things pile up in their mind. They use other outlets because they don't have time to really think and get their mind right. So they get the bottle and they smoke some weed, man. They watch TV all day. They binge watch. This is the book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So your eye on a spiritual level represents your mind. So your mind and Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua is created to be full of light. The light pursuant to John 8 and 12 and Proverbs 6 and 23, Psalms 119 and 105, generally speaking, it's the word of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. That's what enlightens your mind. That's what keeps that candle burning. So the Most High is saying that the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And your eye being single is your mind being one-track minded, being focused. And it's hard to focus even in this kingdom, huh? You got loud music, man. You might stay in the neighborhood, it's nigga music outside, police, helicopters, you know, wickedness, vehicles going to and fro in the earth, man. You might have loud neighbors who hearing them snore and, you know, argue, you know, through the walls. Hey, this society is created to keep you away from a healthy mind and away from really meditating in the Most High, man. You know, you don't really have time to meditate in Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua if you're working 13 hours a day, man, 11 hours a day. Then you got to go to the store. Then you got to grab this. Then you got to make this happen. Then you got to do that. You have to take that time to isolate yourself at times. I'm not talking about you left the body, you left the group chat. I'm talking about, hey, step off for a minute, man. You know, hey, you might have to sit in the car, And I go in the back sometimes, man, you know, look at the works of the Most High, examine myself. What more can we do for Yahweh Bashmi Shah, for the body, for the ministry? What things are lacking, you know? Especially Jake that live in a damn concrete jungle. You know, you live in it's nothing but skyscrapers and projects and all of that, man. That puts a spirit on you. I'm gonna read on in Proverbs chapter 6 and 23. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? And again, this kingdom is strategically designed to keep your eye from being single. They want any speck of darkness to come into your mind to keep you away from the Most High. Why do you think that you never even heard of the truth, man? Don't you know that the job of the serpent, pursuant to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, 23 on down, is to go every way to keep the man away from the tree of life? Let me get that in Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Right? Let's get that. And the Most High set that up, man. That goes back to the days of Adam, right? During the exile of the Garden of Eden. Right? This is Genesis chapter 3. Salaki, bear with me. And verse number 23. Therefore, Yahweh sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. Yeah, Adam was exiled. Reading on. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and the flaming sword, which turned every way to keep man, it's like it's keep the way of the tree of life. You see that? So the so-called light man, he's a physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. And his job is to turn every way to keep you from the tree of life. That's why you never heard of this truth, man. I've never heard the word Sabbath prior to coming into this knowledge. Right? I've never heard the word Passover. There are things, and I'm sure there are certain things, maybe you heard of that, maybe you didn't, man. People got different upbringings, but I'm sure there are things that you never even heard of. Words, man, prior to coming into this knowledge. Because this school system of the so-called white man, right, his medicine industry, education system, his artwork, his media, his television, his news, his propaganda, right, his lifestyle that he programmed you to do, that 9 to 5, and he made that up, man. Right? The 9 to 5 comes from the so-called white man. That comes from Henry Ford. You know, prior to that, people, you know, people in the ancient world, they worked according to their leisure, man. They had farms, you know. Nobody was over your back telling you to clock in. Hey, but he took away your property, man. He took away, now you, the so-called white man owns your property. You had cattle and livestock. He took that away from you. You had fruit trees and crops. He took that away from you. He took away the agricultural industry, the farming industry. That's how man sustained himself. And you actually had time in the ancient world to focus and look at the works of the Most High and speak to the earth and understand and meditate and look at the grass and the trees and understand these things, man. You know, we actually had time to do that. And it's no coincidence, it's not by accident that that lifestyle of agriculture and farming and horticulture was taken away from us. Husbandry being a key component of us as a people, as a civilization, as a nation, that was stripped away from us and from man in general. Now everything's tech. Now everything's 9 to 5, computer, AI, and your mind, you can't really focus, man. You know, that stuff puts spirits on you. The AirPods and the frequencies and the music and the gigahertz and all of these sounds and decibels and this stuff throw your mind off. All of this is to keep your mind away from the tree of life, man, and from the knowledge of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 46 and 10. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 46 and 10. You have to have this time to decompress, to get away, to get your mind right, man. You know? You got mothers, man. Even Israel, you got women with multiple children. Right? They got babies. They got these kids. They got to deal with this. And even they need time, man. They'll bug out. Some of these mothers, man, they literally get delirious. They thought they put the mac and cheese in the oven, and they put the baby in the oven. You know? And these are real stories, man. Police come, what happened? And she didn't know, man. Her mind was all messed up. She was delirious. She didn't get no rest. She juggling 5 babies, and she's working. And hey, look, man, now she's doing 25 to life, man. People falling asleep on the road because you always up, you working, you get in a car accident, you killed the family of 5. Hey, get some sleep sometimes, man. Hey, take a nap, man. Relax sometimes. Get your mind right, man. Before you bug out on this thing. This Psalms chapter 46 and verse number 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. I'm going to read that again. And we brought this out at camp, right? Psalms 46 and 10. Be still. You're commanded to be still. That's not optional. Now, when did Esau have to tell you just be still? No, you're always working, man. You don't even get days off. You get what? How many federal holidays is it, man? What, 5? So-called Christmas, so-called Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, July 4th, and New Year's, right? You get about 5. I might be missing 1 or 2, man. So you don't really get no days off, man. You don't have no time to be still. But the Most High commanded you to be still. And even if once you had those days off, man, you can't enjoy it because you got to spend those days recovering because your body all beat down. And you brothers in this ministry, man, hey, you got to read. You got to study, man. There's a lot going on. So the Most High said, be still. You're commanded to be still. That's what the Lord gave us as Shabbat. Everything needs rest, man. Your car needs rest, man. You'll burn your car out, man. Your engine, your battery, your transmission. Your car can't run forever, man. Even oxen and husbandry, they need rest. Let me get this. I'm gonna go back to Psalms 46, but I want to get this account that Jacob told Esau in Genesis the 33rd chapter. See that? Like y'all, what's up? Said I have a hard time staying still, and it's hard, man. Because we always work and we got to get stuff done. But, sometimes, brothers, you need that, man. You need that through the Spirit. You got to be still sometimes. You got to have your body rest. Gather your thoughts. Get your mind right. Man, I be going to and fro. I forget where I put something sometimes. Hey, prior to this live, man, I lost my phone for about 3 minutes. Like, I'm moving, stuff going on, stuff happening. I put my phone here. You're forgetting stuff. And we didn't forget stuff in the ancient world like that, man. We were organized, but this society keeps you disorganized, you're dysfunctional, stuff, things get out of hand and life gets away from you. Right? But here's what Jacob told Esau. Right? This is Genesis chapter 33, and I want to get verse number 12. Right, here's what Esau said, or Jacob rather, or Slucky. Genesis, where I'm at, 33. I'm going to read 11. Take, I pray thee, this is what Jacob said. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because the Most High had dealt graciously with me, because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. So Jacob was flattering Esau, right, so he can escape death. So he gave him all of these gifts to pacify his mind. Let's read on. Genesis chapter 33 and 13. And he said unto him, it's like in verse 12. And he said, let us take our journey and let us go. I will go before thee. And he said, this is what Jacob told Esau. My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let me read that again. Genesis 33 and 13. And he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender. Right? The children are tender, they're young. They can't travel like adult men can travel. Right? And the flocks and herds with young are with me. Right? You had, mothers, they had their goats, they had their kids, their baby cattle. Right? Here's the point. And if men Now think about Esau and how he rules over Jacob today. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. You know? And we're being overdriven. Any shepherd, any husbandman, he knows that your cattle need rest. That's why you have the Sabbath. 6 days, right? Shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day, it's the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy manservant, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy ox, paraphrasing, huh? Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So even your oxen got to rest. The Lord said, if you get overdriven in one day, you'll die. I know people that actually died at a job, man. At this Amazon job, man, I used to work at years and years and years ago, man. Somebody actually died. And people are so busy to try to get those numbers, man, to try to hit that quota, man, that they actually saw this guy die, but they couldn't say nothing because they were trying to keep their job, you know? And this society makes you lose your morals, man, your integrity because you're always busy. They actually saw this guy was dead, I believe, and this was on the news. This made the news, man. I believe it made national news. You can look it up. This guy actually died working, and his co-workers didn't say anything because they had to hit those numbers. They had to hit those numbers. And when I worked at that job, man, this was when I was like 20, right? When I worked at that job, they actually tracked you by the second, man. You know, if you took a break for like 3 seconds, they was tracking your time off task. And your supervisor, your manager, they'll come and they'll walk up on you, man, and say, is everything okay? Why'd you stop working? And they study your biometrics at these jobs, man. Your algorithms. You know? Your bodily movements. So this society, they'll overdrive you in one day. Right? You see that? Spidey said, I worked at an Amazon in Arizona last year. One of my co-workers died in the bathroom. You see that? You see that? So don't allow yourself to be overdriven, man. You'll die. You'll stress yourself out. And stress can actually lead to actual health issues. You can get ulcers in your intestines. People actually cough up blood. This is real, man. You can cough up blood. You very contentious. You can be angry. Now you get into unnecessary arguments. It used to be level-headed. Now you on edge all the time. Because you don't get no rest. Your mind all bad. You on edge. Can't nobody talk to you. You can't even hold a conversation because your mind is thinking about 10 other things, man. People got to say, hey, do you hear me? Did you listen to me? And you're like, damn, I can't even focus on a conversation about the weather, about sports, about anything, about the knowledge, man, because my mind is, I'm thinking about bills and then I got to do this at work and then this going to happen, you know? I got to make this move. So you have to take that time. So I'm going to read that one more time. This is a beautiful verse right here. Genesis 33 and 13. And he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Right? All the flock will die. Let's go back to Psalms 46. Right? Let's go back to that. Right? Psalms chapter 46 and verse number 10. Right? Let's read that. Right? Psalms chapter 46 and 10. It reads, be still and know that I am the Most High. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. So you're commanded to be still and know that Yahweh is Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, He the Most High, man. Right? You have to know that. You have to look at the wind and recognize that's of the Most High. Look at the trees kind of move in the wind, man. That's why I like going to quiet beaches, man. I like being in the field, looking at the trees. I love nature, man. I'm sure a lot of you brothers love nature. A lot of you sisters, you love nature, man. Now, I'm not going to go mountain climbing. I'm not going to do all of that. Hey, but I'll sit down as a plain man, man. You know? You see the animals that labor, man. You might see an ant at work. Right? You see the trees blowing in the wind. It's a damn, I don't know what this is in the sky. It's like a falcon that just flew over, man. You know? Meditate on this. Look at and realize that the Most High is running the show. I'm looking at the grass blowing in the wind. Hey, the Most High is doing that, man. I'm looking at the trees moving. Yahweh's doing that, man. It just got through rain and the Most High did that. Take that time to realize that the Most High is the Most High, man. And not only that, that he's going to be exalted in the earth. Once you understand that Yahweh Shai is orchestrating the elements, he's orchestrating the beasts of the field, he's programming you, and all things fulfill his will, also understand that he will be exalted in the earth. Right? These things have to be understood. Let's go to Psalms chapter 4 and 4. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 4 and verse number 4. It reads, I'll read 4. Psalms chapter 4 and 4. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still, Salah. And the brother pull up the definition of commune. Psalms 4 and 4 says, stand in awe and sin not. Commune. If a brother got time, can the brother pull up the definition of commune? Right, you see that beloved line that said, I love walking on the beach. Yeah, there's a spiritual thing behind it, man. Walking in the grass, walking in the beach, And we're up the earth. We're connected to the earth, man. We're up the elements, Esau has a lot of man-made things, plastic and asphalt and this concrete and this stuff puts spirits on you, man. This stuff puts spirits on you. Right? This stuff could actually kind of throw your mind off, throw your body off. Right? So throughout that for the definition. Right? Zyplo, commune, a group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities. All right, that's one definition, but it's more of a verb. Right? Commune, share one's thoughts or feelings with, especially on a spiritual level. Right? So throughout it for both definitions, but that's the one we want. To share one's intimate thoughts or feelings with, especially on a spiritual level. So the Most High commanded you not to just think on a financial level about money and bills and work, not to think about I'm running errands, I'm on that level. See, again, this system is created to take away the spiritual level of thinking from you, Or you can't think spiritually. You can't think about the Most High. You won't be able to think about demons. You won't be able to think about angels. You won't be able to think about these things, man. So they're trying to take away that spiritual level from you. Get all into your mind and jam your body all up. The Most High says, stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart. You don't have to always commune with other people. You can talk to other people and confess your faults and, share conversations and intimate secrets and things like that, man. Hey, but you have to do that with yourself. Some people don't even know they self, man. They get into these relationships and, they have all this baggage and wickedness about them and they're learning about themselves in a marriage when they don't even know who they are, man. You don't have time to really know yourself, your shortcomings, your flaws. This life is a hustle and bustle kind of, you learn as you go kind of thing. You got to know yourself, man. You have to commune with your own self. What things you need to work on? How more you can serve the Most High? What things have you been doing well that you have to continue in? Where are your shortcomings at? How do you treat other people? These are things that you'll never have time to think about. Because thinking about these things is not a 3-minute kind of move, man. It's not a 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour, man. 30 minutes, 45 minutes. That you need to really answer these questions about yourself. And really think about these things, man. It takes an hour sometimes multiple hours. And you just, in the spirit, communing with your own heart. And you may not have hours, so you take the time that you need, man. Take that time. Some people may not work, they work through their lunch break all the time. No, man, take that break, man. You need that. I got these people at this plantation I'm at, man. I walked up to this Edomite and I have to ask him a question or two. I need, do this, man. And I was like, you know what? You eat, I'll come back. And he says, no, I don't take breaks. I work when I eat. But I let him do his thing. So then I went to this other Edomite, and he said the same thing. And that's why these Edomites be blowing their brains out, man. They be shooting up the workplaces, man. You know, they get in there with an AR-15 and they start blowing everybody's head off. They don't have no time to really think, man. Take your damn break, man. What's your problem? Take that 15. I don't wanna make them mad. Man, look, man. What do you mean you don't want to make them mad? I don't really want to make my supervisors upset if I take a 30-minute break. I want to impress them. Look, man, we're here to impress you. How about Shmi Shah? Right? We're here to impress the Most High. So, hey, take care of your mind and have a healthy mind. And commune with your own heart. Have those conversations with yourself at times. But you'll never be able to do that if you're always over busy and always overworking. Right? Let's go to Acts 16. Right? Let's go to Acts the 16th chapter. Right? This is the book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse number 12. Right? This Paul and Silas traveling from Philippi to different places, right? Acts chapter 16 and verse number 12. And from thence to Philippi, which is the chief city of that part of Macedonia and the colony. And we were in that city abiding certain days. So they stayed in the city certain days, right? Verse number 13. And on the Sabbath, we went out of the city by a riverside where prayer was wont to be made. And we sat down and spake unto the women which resorted thither. So on the Sabbath, they said they went out of the city by a riverside where prayer was wont to be made. And why were they by the water praying, man? Hey, when Daniel saw all of those visions, Daniel wasn't in the projects, man. He wasn't in his palace room. It says he was by the river Ulai. When you read Daniel the 8th chapter, Daniel the 10th chapter, he was by these bodies of water, man. What do you think Daniel was doing? Meditating, looking at the water, reminding himself of the living water, the word of God, this truth, this knowledge, this understanding. So on the Sabbath, they was out there by the riverside, and that's where they used to make prayer. And they chose the river to be closer to the works of the Most High, in motion. Because rivers are flow. See, lakes are not necessarily stagnant, but they're standing bodies of water. Ponds are standing bodies of water. But brooks and creeks and rivers, these are flowing bodies of water in motion, right? So it was fitting for them, in the knowledge of the Most High and learning about this living water, to go outside by the riverside and make your prayer, man. So be at one with the elements of the Most High, man. Go outside at times, man. Breathe in some fresh air. Stop breathing in your AC unit all the time, right? Your HVAC system and car fumes and cigarette smoke and filthiness, man. Breathe in some damn air. Breathe, man. Inhale. Take a deep inhale. You don't even have time to inhale, man. You got fast breaths. You're out of breath. You're going up a flight of stairs at work. You're going down. You're driving. You can barely breathe. You're working. You're always talking. Take a deep breath at times, man. And that oxygen got to go to your brain, man. Keep your brain healthy. Have a healthy mind in this knowledge, man. Take care of yourself through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shah. Right? Let's go to Genesis 24. Right? We're going to get a few more. Right? Genesis, we talked about this earlier, but I'm going to read it. Right? Genesis chapter 24 and verse number 63. Right? Genesis chapter 24 and 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. So Isaac would have had to learn this from his father Abraham, right? And from his fathers, that at eventide, when the sun was about to go down, and that's when things are kind of still, around the eventide. See, the cool of the day, things are in motion, The birds are going to and fro, and Squirrels out. You might have had cattle. The sheep are out there. They're grazing. By the time of the eventide, the sheep are in the sheep pen, so they don't get attacked by the wolves, man. Right? Your cattle are in the barn or wherever, man. You know. The Lord said in Psalms chapter 104 that man goeth unto his work unto the even. So the eventide was the end of the business day, when all of your labor was done. You know, it tells you that in the Psalms, man goeth unto his work unto the even. So after the labor and the height and the hustle and bustle of the day, Isaac made it a priority to go out and meditate. You have to take that time. And Isaac was a busy man, man. You know, he had men servants, he had women servants, he had cattle, he had oxen, you know. He had children. Well, not at this time, but, you know, later he had children. He had a lot going on. So Isaac did go out and meditate in the field at eventide. Hey, do that, man. Stop saying that was just for Isaac. That's not for me. I can't do that. I don't have a field. Go find one, man. Go find a field. Go find some place. They got parks, man. They got state parks, nature. They got beaches, you know. Turn the TV off, man. Stop scrolling. You saw 400 reels today. I'm talking to you. You saw 400. You know who I'm talking to. You saw almost 400 reels, man. And you know who I'm talking to. You watched this many episodes, man. You know. You was on Facebook for God knows how long today. Then you was on Twitter. Then you was on Instagram. Get out and meditate in the field at eventide. Meditate on the precepts. Meditate on the law. Examine yourself, man. You know? Think about these things. You have to find something that's profitable for your mind. Some people, they do puzzles, man. Kind of get their mind together. And the brother said, Malak Yawasap said, walking my dog. It's mentally refreshing. You have to find something, man. But you got to escape. You got to get your mind right. Isaac did it. It's part of this knowledge. Right? It's part of this knowledge. Let's go to Psalms chapter 119 and 148. Right? Psalms chapter 119 and 148. You got to have that outlet. You got to have that righteous outlet, man. Right? Psalms chapter 119 and 148. Mine eyes prevent the night watches, that I might meditate in thy word. So he was up all night, the night watches. So you had three main watches in Israel, right? From sunset to around 10 p.m., that was the first watch. Then your middle watch was from anywhere between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., right? That was the middle watch. And the night watches, or the third watch, was from like 2 a.m. to sunrise. So from sunset to 10 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., and 2 a.m. to sunrise. So David was saying that he was up all night, man. Right? Up all night, you know, that he might meditate in thy word. Meditate in the word, man. Think about the acts of old. Think about the promises. Unplug yourself from the matrix, man. You know? Unplug yourself from the matrix. Again, the system is created to constantly keep you busy. Some people, they never even saw a beach until they retired, man, at 65. And some people never left their city. Some people never left the block. They never been to a beach. They never saw grass. Never seen a park. Never saw a waterfall. They're always working, man. And if you got a Sunday, you got a day off, man, hey, you know. And it's hard to do that because your body is always recovering. But again, you have to find that time. You have to find that time through the Spirit, man. Right? Like the Shell Candy said, 100% this life is a lot. It's too much. It is a lot. It's very demanding. It's mentally demanding and draining. It's physically demanding and draining. So you have to force yourself to escape that at times, man. right? You have to. Let's go to John. Let's prove that. Because the Lord did that. Right? Let's go to John chapter 6 and 15. Right? The Lord did that. John chapter 6, it's like here, and verse 15. Right? When they wanted to make him king. Right? It reads, John 6 and 15, where Yahweh Shai therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. So it says when they wanted to make him king, he went alone. He didn't take John. They didn't go everywhere with him. There were set times throughout Yahweh Shah's ministry where he was alone, by himself. You need that, man. You know? If you, especially you brothers that got families, man, you need that time alone. Yeah, you might have kids and all of that stuff. Hey, but hey, you got to take that time sometimes. Hey, your woman might need that time, huh? You know? You kind of hold it down, do your thing. Hey, everybody needs that. Everybody need that. Man and woman, the nation. You know? So Yahweh Shah departed himself alone, gathering his thoughts, man. Meditating, focusing, resetting himself, refreshing himself. He had to do that. So we are in that same spirit. We have to do that, man. He was alone. It's okay to be alone. Yeah, America's a social, through the age of social media. Everything's, networking. I got to network. I got to communicate. You got to know somebody. I know this person. You got all these contacts in your phone, all these followers, all these people you following, likes and thumbs up and all of that, man. You got to get away from that at times, man. You know? Get away from all of the likes and I followed this person. You heard what this person said and drama and celebrity drama and folly and vanity. To be alone at times. Learn how to be alone. Learn to know yourself. That's in the book of Lamentations, man. It is good that a man sit, let me get that in Lamentations. That a man sit down and wait quietly for the Lord. You know? A lot of brothers, you don't know how to be alone. You got 8 siblings. You was born in some type of a lower income, impoverished condition. You was working by the age you was 15, or you got all these people at your job, man. You working all these hours and you come straight home, you got these kids. You don't know how to be alone. But you have to learn how to take that time. Right? See, Divine in Nature said that, man. Deactivate those social medias from time to time. I know brothers do that, man. They just unplug from the Instagram at times. You don't have to delete it. You don't have to, it's not wicked, but just, get away at times, man. Take a day off from Instagram, from Twitter, man, from Facebook, And the time that you would have spent on that, hey, get outside and meditate on the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? So let me get this in Lamentations. All right, we wind it down. I'm getting a few more. Right? So this is just an impromptu, quick cold cut through the spirit. We were talking about this at camp maybe about 3 camps ago. And I wanted to touch on it, but I didn't have time. The spirit suffered it not. Now I want to get this in Lamentations chapter 3 and verse number 25. Right? Lamentations chapter 3 and 25. It reads, "The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good." It's like it is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. You need that quiet, man. It's good that a man should hope and quietly wait, man. Some brothers, you never heard quietness, man. Like I said, you got loud neighbors, they snoring, you can hear them fart. Hey, you can hear them freak off, man. If you have like an apartment complex, people banging at the door, you too loud, and you just, you walking, but they think you too loud. They hitting the ceiling with a broomstick. You go outside, it's niggas on the steps, man, with a Beats pill, smoking a blunt, eating a damn hoagie, drinking some Hennessy, man. Police sirens. You never heard quiet. It's traffic, horns, and sirens. Find some quietness at times. Turn that TV off, man. Turn that music off. You listen to music all damn day, man. Take a break. When people say I can't even hear myself think, that's literal. I mean, you know, they throw it as an exaggeration, but sometimes it's literal. You can't even hear yourself think. And that's wicked, man. Because the Most High has given us 7 operations. And the 7th operation was speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof. So we were given the ability to have cogitations. And if you can't hear yourself think, you don't have access to the 7th operation that the Most High gave you. You know, which means your speech is going to be jammed up, and then your actions are going to follow. So you have to have time to think and dive into deep thoughts. The Lord said that the thoughts of the wicked are very deep in Psalm 64. They have deep thoughts. They have time to have deep thoughts because they want for nothing. We don't have time for deep thoughts. Your thoughts are very vain, and normally they're about money and eating and sleeping and work. When's the last time you had deep thoughts, reflections, meditation, you know? So I'm going to read that again. Lamentations 3:26. It is good that a man, it says it is good, right? It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence because he hath borne it upon him. And you got certain, I believe there are monks out there in the East. They actually take vows of silence. I'm not saying the brother should take one, you know, but they actually go through times where they don't speak. They're just silent. You know, to what purpose is that? I don't know. But the point is, you know, it's okay to be silent at times, man. Some people can't even sit in a room with another person being silent because you're created to think in this man's world that you always have to talk. There's a thing called small talk. Small talk is vain talk. It's talk that you were taught that has to be, you know, conversations about the weather, about the sports, about, you know, the workplace, water cooler talk that you just have to open your mouth and speak. You don't have to do that. You know, I hate small talk with these people at the plantation, man. Small talk isn't normal. It's okay to be quiet. Even, you know, you might have your woman, man. It's okay to sit down and be quiet. Hey, she do her thing, you do your thing. You don't always have to talk about something. Take that time to think, man. And get a healthy mind. Right? Let's go to the book of, like I said, we got maybe 1, maybe 2 more. What else I have? Let's go to, I have something else. Most are willing to come back. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 38. Right? So it's good to keep silence at times, man. Right? It's good to meditate. Sirach, chapter 38 and verse number 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. Meaning what? Have time to learn. You have to make time to learn. You have to have some leisure time. You have to. If you're always working, you'll never have time to learn. So if you are a learned man, you only a learned man because you had time to be taught. You know? So you have to learn about yourself, man. Take time, and you may have to learn about your woman, about your children. You're observing them. Some people don't even know about their children. And the children have gifts and talents, but they're so busy working, they're so busy doing things, they don't even see the good things that their children may have, man. Or certain flaws. And your son has been coughing for damn 5 months straight, man. But you just noticed it. But now it's too late. Now he's in a ICU. You know? And your daughter's been telling you, hey, her eye hurts, man. Every time you come in from work, but you come in, you have a drink, go straight to sleep, man. You know? But now she needs rehab for her eye, man. You know? People don't even look at their children. They don't even pay attention to things, man. Because you're too busy hustling, bustling, man. You know? Hey, your woman might have got dressed, did things, did herself up for you, man. You know? It might have been a leak in the house. You didn't know that leak, it was in the house. Here it is, somebody that tried to break in your house, man. You got all these big, large footprints on your back door. As if somebody was trying to kick your door down, but you don't even pay attention to your house, man. Because you're always on your phone. You're always hustling, bustling. You're working damn 65 hours a week. You don't know what the hell is going on in your life, man. Get your mind right. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. And he that hath little business shall become wise. So you have to take that time to remove certain things in your life, man. Take that time to think. Don't have 50 hobbies. Especially things that take away this from the spirit. You like to fix cars, and you like to take some time to think, man. It's okay to have a pastime of things you into, but you need to take that time to be quiet, to sit alone, to isolate yourself, to pray, to meditate. To look at the works of the Most High. The ant, to look at the eagle, to look at these things, man. And learn and grow through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shema Mashiach Kwamalak Yabashai. Right? But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shema Mashiach Kwamalak Yabashai. Most High willing you edify.